Hey, this is Chris Jericho, and you're listening to Awesome Pod, the only wrestling pod that I listen to.
It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's Awesome Pod. It's Darcy the Mail Girl, Shorty Taylor, and Brendan Patrizzo. Explain Dynamite and Rampage, we are here.
And Mistress Harley.
Welcome to LA.
Yes, welcome to LA, raggedy bitches. Yes, there's a fire burning down the city. We are looking forward to fighting the zombie apocalypse. And we are the Awesome Pod. We are a wrestling podcast unlike any other wrestling podcast. And today we have a special guest, Joe Bob Briggs. You might know him from The Last Drive-In.
Or Casino.
Oh, yes, or Hogzilla.
Yes, Hogzilla is how people know him.
Happy to be here. I think this is my, I don't know, 5th appearance on the AEW-some Pod.
Remember when you tried to like be the leader?
Oh yeah, that was that was.
Yeah, welcome to just being a special guest.
You encouraged me to do that.
Oh, I didn't know how terribly
I totally
you sucked.
fucked it up.
Yeah, no, you were bad.
Well, I'm the captain now, and
Yes.
the show is much better, if I do say so myself. And of course, with Joe Bob, we always have the beautiful Darcy the Mail Girl.
Aw, well, thank you.
Yes, you are. We also have Johnny Shania Taylor joining
Yay,
us
welcome
from
back.
the no exit on the bus scenario.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? I just got back from Norfolk, Nebraska, and I gotta tell you, it made Appleton look like Manhattan.
Wow.
Johnny, I gotta tell you, you missed the live show, and the fans were telling us to send you back to Appleton.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Raggedy-
Also, listeners, if you have not listened to the live episode of the Awesome Pod, go listen to that, because Brendan Patrizzo, who's not even here, little bitch, he opened a can of Woo Energy drink in my dungeon, and I've washed all the rubber sheets, and somehow it still smells like Ric Flair Woo Energy. And thank goodness it isn't a bad smell. So go listen to the live show for that special nugget.
I mean, who doesn't want Ric Flair's woo on their sheets, you know?
I just
Oh
think
my
that
God.
Brendan was way too excited, and he just popped way too early.
Yeah,
It happens in
he
your dungeon
exploded.
Yeah, it does happen often, Darcy, and yet they still pay the same amount. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is that, Joe Bob, you invited yourself onto the Awesome Pod because you so badly wanted to discuss this CM Punk, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy backstage footage. You wanted to discuss it so much you brought it up on the Sexuality and Fetish podcast where I interviewed you. And so we had to
I
bring
wanted
you...
to ask you. I wanted to ask you about it because I had no one to talk to about it.
Well, now you
Oh.
can talk. Yay.
Also, leave it to Joe Bob to interview you on your own podcast. So we had to bring him to an appropriate venue to discuss that footage. Did you watch it, Joe Bob?
Well, yes, I watched it. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is that I had always assumed that CM Punk had done something so incredibly dangerous and over the line that Tony Khan had no choice but to fire him. And then I saw the video and I thought, well, wait a minute. This is like, it's over in 10 seconds and Samoa Joe is right there to like make sure nothing happens. And there was a little bit of a chokehold, but it really didn't last very long. And I just didn't understand how this could be such a big fucking deal.
Wow. Wow. Well, let me just say that's not his first incident. And also how much chokeholding is allowed at the workplace before you're like, that's too much.
I'm not even sure it was a chokehold. But
it was at the very least an attempted chokehold.
Yeah.
And thrown
Samoa
punches.
Joe was at that point. Samoa Joe had been moving closer and closer and closer to it, to where Samoa Joe was like 3 feet away.
Yeah.
And he was all over CM Punk before he could even apply
that's
pressure.
like CM Punk's second big fucking backstage altercation.
Let
Are
me
you
ask
telling
you.
me that in the history of wrestling, the backstage altercations don't occur?
Well, know, but it's pro wrestling. You're
They
supposed to
do.
do it in the ring. Like, Joe Bob, if we are at
No,
the
I
set
understand that.
of
No,
the
I
last
understand that.
drive-in, am I
And he
allowed to
went
push you
after
like
the
that?
boss. You don't go after the fucking boss, man.
He
I'm
went
just
after the boss.
Tony Khan, yeah.
Well,
So
not in that video.
At the very end, you can see that, but I've also been told that there was another incident where he really went after him that was not in that footage. But in that footage, you can see him go.
there was a lunge.
Yes.
He went after him physically?
Yes.
Yeah, there were two guys holding him, and CM Punk lunged at him through the barrier that he was behind, which I have to say, if some dude was lunging at me like that, I might say in court that I was afraid for my life while I took all of his stuff.
yeah. I will say the chokehold itself, that was a front face lock. That was not
wasn't
much of
a
a chokehold.
Yeah.
It was a
Also,
calm down hold.
I thought the footage made Jack Perry look like such a bitch.
Really?
Like,
Why?
it's just like, dude, you're 20 years younger than this dude. You're in peak physical condition. Punch that fucking dude.
But
Maybe he
you're
just
a
didn't want confrontation.
Yeah, you're Gen Z. You're new in the workplace. You think that we're having a meeting about stuff we're going to do later. Hey, Johnny, before you go on stage and you're like joking around with other comedians and you're like busting each other's balls, is it cool for one of them to punch you in the face?
Listen, if somebody tried, I would have punched that motherfucker in the face.
Plus, to be fair, I don't think he thought they were just having a normal meeting. He definitely knew he was coming out of.
He was really worried.
Well,
He was
but
zhuzhing the shit
also-
out of his hair. I'll tell you that.
Well, but also look what set it off. Jack Perry made that comment about real glass, about
Yes.
not using real glass. It's sort of like if you want to make the comedy comparison, it would be like sort of saying this other comic steals all his jokes.
Mm.
You know, you're sort of like you're telling the public a magician trick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is kind of a major violation of kayfabe, wouldn't you say?
Interesting.
He did
I
break
don't
kayfabe.
know that people care as much about kayfabe as they once did, but also his point would be to show he is using real glass, so he wants people to know CM Punk's a little bitch not using real glass.
Okay, well, I can see how a lot of wrestlers would say, well, Jungle Boy, that's just kind of stupid on your part.
Oh yes, it was stupid.
When the fake glass looks just like the real glass.
I feel like that's what CM Punk said.
But real men use real glass to cut
Exactly.
their bodies open for our pleasure to bleed like gladiators.
You know what? If
Yeah.
I was a wrestler, I'd use fucking real glass.
Yeah.
Fucking make that shit real. Bleed
Fuck
real,
yeah.
man.
Also, like, let's pretend it's not CM Punk. Let's pretend it's a cop, and Jack Perry's got his hands above his head, like, I do not have a weapon, officer. And then dude pushes him so hard when the other guy is clearly in the surrender pose. Body language means a lot.
Yeah, my opinion about this is that I think that they needed to fire CM Punk. I don't think CM Punk was helping the company at that point. They needed to get rid of him, and I think that
Oh, and then they tricked him into acting like an asshole.
No, I just think this was a good reason to do it. Like, he put his hands on a coworker, not cool. But the incident itself seems, fairly benign, as I'm watching it. But it's a good reason to fire somebody you don't want working there anymore. So I think
Well, it reminded me of like a fight in junior high school
Totally.
where you because there's so many people gathered around watching, that once you make the move, you're going to get pulled away.
Mm.
I mean, it's like it's not a real fight because there's all these people there that are going to pull the two people apart.
So you're
And
saying
so-
it was a work?
It was like
No, it was just kind of like a hold me back kind of thing.
it was like an emotion. It was like an emotional fart, on the part of CM Punk. He just couldn't stand this little twerp and getting in his space,
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
and so
But
Yeah.
speaking of works, you guys, I just saw the new Godzilla x Kong movie, and there is a moment where Godzilla suplexes Kong with his tiny arms. That shit had to be a work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Noted.
No argument.
It was wrestling. It was wrestling at
Okay.
Godzilla. I did not expect to see a standing suplex.
That's awesome.
Okay.
They did have a lot of tie-in with AEW. Maybe it's a little shout out.
Yeah. But does anybody else want to comment on this endless fucking CM Punk, Jack Perry kerfuffle? God, the men feel so many feelings about it. I'm going to start showing it to them in the dungeon and then asking them how they feel.
I think let's just move on, man.
All right.
You got it.
Let's move on to covering the current show with the people that still work here. AEW Dynamite, April 17th. It was the Dynasty Go Home show, and it started with the very long walk of Jon Moxley. He does not know where the ring is, but he has come to AEW, and he has brought the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. If, for those of you that don't know, that's one of the New Japan International titles. And it's kind of cool that they let people take those around to other promotions. I think that's cool. So,
awesome.
yeah, there was talking. They spoke. There's going to be some showdowns with, I don't know, Will Osprey and Claudio Castagnoli, and I don't know. There's a lot of talking for wrestling. No?
Sure.
Okay.
No.
If you're saying it was a very talky
I felt-
episode, I thought it was.
It was
yes.
a talky episode. I felt like Mox's speech was actually really good.
I liked it too.
Well, he wants to take on Powerhouse Hobbs. How do we think that's going to go?
I feel like once again they're
Big
gonna fucking
mistake.
job out Powerhouse.
Yeah, I
Fucking
think Moxley
ridiculous.
wins that.
They
I
cannot
know.
keep using this like 300-pound jacked dude as a jobber. They can't.
It's so fucking weird, but it ain't gonna be Mox a fucking
No,
in the
real.
pattern.
Yeah, you're right. There was a Mercedes Monet promo, and she says that she thinks Julia Hart attacked her last week, which, I mean, we all think that, right?
I don't. I think it was like she said also, like that it was somebody that wanted to make it look like it was Julia Hart. I'm still going Chris Statlander.
Oh, they have framed Julia Hart.
I think so. I think Julia Hart would be like, yeah, I did that shit.
It's reminiscent of that devil thing they were doing with the men's
Yeah, a little bit.
division. Because then somebody attacks Willow Nightingale backstage, and she's like, I can still do it. And then Brody King is there, and Adam Copeland is there. I don't know. There's a lot of action. And then we get a mixed tag match, though. You know, I like that intergender wrestling.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting they did a mixed tag. I thought it was cool.
It was fun. I want more intergender wrestling. I want women riding men like ponies and hitting them until they fall down. When am I going to get that?
I would think you could get that at any time, just by
No.
telling your loyal fans that that's what you want.
But it's not the same as when there's lights and a multi-millionaire funding the show for my entertainment, Joe Bob.
How did
Well-
you feel about the mixed tag?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
Um,
Joe Bob watched the show tonight.
I fell asleep during that part.
Oh, damn.
Oh!
It's
Yeah,
fucking
JB.
Brendan all over again. You are
Yeah,
playing Brendan's
tough.
part.
No, tough week for me.
Joe
Wow.
Bob, you're not supposed to break kayfabe. At least tell the people you were so excited you can't
Oh,
remember a
man.
goddamn thing.
The mixed tags. Oh, when they do the mixed tags,
Yes,
Yeah.
the mixed
I
tags.
practically have an orgasm.
Yes, good. You understand.
That's why you fell asleep.
Mhm.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
It was so satisfying.
exactly. I'll take that answer, you freak.
yeah, the dirty perverts once again. They always come out when Mistress Harley is here. Ultimately, the House of Black won that one by referee stoppage after Julia Hart did a Heartless on Willow Nightingale. But then afterwards, like Mercedes Monet, it comes in the ring. There's a steel chair. I don't know what they're building to. It's like everyone's gonna fight everyone.
Yeah. This
Go ahead, Johnny.
so they gotta, at least it seems like it's building up to Mercedes Monet wrestling.
Dude, it's taking so long.
They gotta
right?
get her
It's
in the
really
fucking
annoying.
ring, man. Like, the crowd, you could tell, like, and this crowd, I got to give them props. They were super hot the whole show. But
I think, you know what, Johnny? I think they were freezing to death, and that's made them extra enthusiastic. They had to jump up and down, or they were gonna die.
yeah, I think
Why? Is it colder?
I saw a bunch of dudes dressed like Kenny from South Park,
No
like
way.
the hoodie all the way
Fucking
over
hell.
their faces.
The weather's so weird right now.
Yeah, there was that. But the natives are getting restless at this point. Mercedes Moné needs to get into a match, like, soon.
Seriously, like, I am over it. Like, talk. Got it.
Yeah, too much talking, not enough fighting. Speaking of talking, there was a Samoa Joe interview where Samoa Joe called Swerve Strickland a choke artist, and he'll be choking him out at Dynasty. Can please describe the work of a choke artist? Anybody?
I mean, as a Sacramento Kings fan, I've seen a lot of choke artistry over the years. But I think what it's saying is, like, he can't get it done in the big one, you know? But he's
Okay.
he's going to.
I imagined like a Jackson Pollock of choking.
No, when you hear the word choking, you go to a completely different place, Mistress Harley.
Joe Bob,
They-
don't project your filthy thoughts onto me.
I know. Joe Bob, calm down. Like, fuck. I feel
No.
like you've gone.
No,
Darcy, you got to put the
Okay.
handcuffs
No.
on him. I sent you handcuffs. Use them.
what he meant was he can't win the big fight. He can't
Yeah.
win the big match. So
You watched that
That-
segment, though, right? You wrote me about
yes,
it.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You woke up
No,
in time.
I was like, no, there was. They were presenting it like, oh, something like that can't go unanswered. I was thinking, well, you could have been a little bit meaner, Samoa Joe.
Oh,
Samoa
you were
Joe-
being sarcastic when you wrote
Yeah, I
that?
was
I
being
thought he was like,
sarcastic.
ooh, it can't go unanswered.
Can't
I'm
go
excited.
unanswered. Well, and that's how they dealt with it later. Swerve said, well, if he's going to say that, then I'm going to the ring. I'm going to face him face to face. I've got to answer him face to face.
Yes,
Right.
and you
And-
found fault with that?
Well, I just thought it was like,
You don't call him a choke artist, man.
Once again, it was a schoolyard thing. It was like, you have cooties, So-
Aw. Side
know-
note, he did a promo with Roddy Piper back in the day, and that's what
Oh,
he
yeah.
said. He told him
I
he had
said,
cooties.
yeah, I said, Roddy, let's do a promo together, and it's like, okay, Roddy, this week, Charlotte Coliseum, you've got cooties.
Ah,
Literally, it was adorable.
that's incredible. But I love Samoa Joe's character work. He is an understated, terrifying man. He's the man that if you can even hear his voice, you should probably walk out of the bar, down the street, get into a cab, and never look back.
I don't know. He's like a big teddy bear.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Hawaii, and so like I know scary Samoan guys when I see them.
Just saying that. He tries to be tough, but he ain't.
I think Samoa Joe could work more with it. I mean, I think he was, didn't Samoa Joe grow up in Southern California? He's kind of like too laid back to be a mean Samoan.
SoCal Joe.
Yeah.
We call him Sam Joe here.
Yeah, he could work on the Samoan face more.
You want like the full like a haka dance and like
I know. You don't just want to be a racial stereotype.
I mean, the Usos were
Samoans
doing
are-
that up to like a few years ago. So
I mean, I know
Samoans are
Samoans and
big
they still
guys.
do the haka dance today. That's just a thing they do.
Yeah, but he's not from there, so that's like
Orange County.
exactly.
Are you saying people from the OC can't be Samoan, Johnny?
No, I'm just saying. It's probably more
Are
likely
you telling me he's
like,
not really Samoan? Like his parents aren't Samoan, or he's like
Oh,
his
he's-
family's not
He's
Samoan?
Samoan as fuck.
He's Samoan.
He's
Okay,
more
that-
likely to come out and dance to like a Sublime song, I think.
Yes, that's what I want to see.
Okay, that would be
Sublime
pretty
girl.
awesome. That would be. Okay, but let's talk about, I'm not even going to talk about the promo with the Young Bucks and Okada and FTR. Like, fuck that. Let's just skip
How
to
dare
the
you.
Daniel Garcia Death Triangle, Pac and Penta El Zero, and the Elite, and the fucking Bucks. And who do you think won? I mean, you guys watched.
We watched.
I know who won this.
Well, dear listeners, in case you didn't watch, the fucking Bucks always win because they book the matches.
Yeah. They beat
They
up on
booked
Daniel
themselves
Garcia
to
too
win.
much.
And he doesn't deserve it. Daniel Garcia works really hard at being a nice twink boy.
Yes, he does.
You know, I get it though. They're trying to make the Bucks look super strong going into the finals of this tournament, so they're going to win everything until the pay-per-view.
But, you know, Joe Bob has a good point about this being like such schoolyard nonsense, where it's like after the match, then they do the EVP trigger on Garcia and then bring a ladder into the ring. Like, for no reason. They're just making them look like assholes, and I already thought they were assholes.
Yeah, they're upping their assholery, I suppose.
They're leaning in.
Yeah, leaning
like-
in.
To have a side note, that I had a gay friend watching wrestling with me for the first time.
Yay!
And his two standout guys, he's like, oh my God, there are so many hot guys in this. I have to start watching wrestling. But the two that stood out to him were Pac
Oh,
and Angelo Parker. I'm like, huh? Because I said him Rampage too.
Huh.
dad
I know, I'm like,
dad to
oh,
be Angelo Parker.
That
He's
would
like,
not...
ooh, I love how he combs his hair. I'm like, okay then.
Oh, but you know what?
Oh, wait. His exact word was like, I want to be that comb.
Damn. All right, get it.
Go, Angelo.
I
Cool
mean,
hand.
I guess we just know his taste, right?
But Pac and him, that's a weird juxtaposition there. But whatever.
Well, a wide spectrum. You know, he's inclusive.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I thought Daniel Garcia was like, oh, you're going to be excited about this. He's like, eh. I'm like, all right then.
You never know.
You never know.
But
You know,
okay,
since the last time we're talking about the motivational speeches they do, but from the last time I was here, which has been a while, I would say the quality of the writing, if they write them at all,
It's all organic and not pre-written.
has declined.
how
Yeah.
dare you?
How dare you?
I mean, I'm not believing a lot of this.
What did you not believe, sir? Tell me. I want a specific example.
Oh,
Well, one thing is when I started to believe Daddy Ass, but then he turned it over to his sons, and and they couldn't carry it all the way through.
Does that mean you don't believe him, or that his sons suck? Like what? I don't know how that's an example of bad writing.
I think he's more got his pulse on the he's got the pulse of the audience more than his sons do. But
Well, yeah, he's been around for fucking 50,000 years.
Joe Bob, for me to better understand, I need context. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
favorite wrestler of all time, probably Roddy Piper.
oh hell.
Okay.
Aww.
That's why you don't think
Today's his
anybody's a
birthday.
good writer, because Roddy Piper was the best.
He was the best. Yeah,
It's
I
his
think.
birthday today, as we're recording this.
Happy birthday, Roddy.
Yeah,
Happy birthday in a thick Scottish accent, Roddy Piper.
that was
Pretty
good.
good.
But
yeah.
I'm a big fan of MJF, partly because of his writing. His writing is so good.
I will say MJF puts a lot of time into his organic, not written stuff.
It's
Yeah.
because he's better
Yeah.
than you and you know it.
I do
Yeah.
miss him. We need a
Oh
we need
man, they
MJF
could use
back.
him
Oh
right
my
now.
God,
Big time.
he would just the way he would nail a challenge was where is he? Where is he?
Injured.
Very hurt.
Injured / figuring out where he's gonna go.
But is he really injured or is he?
He's really injured.
Yeah, he is.
But is he injured like not coming back or is he
No,
coming
he's
back?
coming back. We just don't know when
Well,
or where
Or
he's
where.
going.
Yeah.
And you know, those people that really have the bug, they don't let 5 broken necks stop them. They're like, my new name is Daniel Bryanson, and I work at AEW.
Word.
But I want to move on to this Taz and CJ Hooker segment, as I have dubbed the Chris Jericho Hook storyline. But You guys know I love it when people get beat up in front of their dads or their dads get beat up in front of them. And so Taz is in the ring and he's like, I will broker peace between Chris Jericho and Hook. And Hook is like, fuck Chris Jericho, fuck the learning tree. And Jericho slaps Taz. And yeah, I mean, I did that out of order, but still, that's what happened.
All right, I'm going to let y'all talk before I talk. What were your honest feelings on this?
I mean, we knew it had to happen. We knew that this CJ Hooker could not last forever.
Yeah.
Do we like how it went down, though?
I love a dad slap.
Maybe I didn't have enough of the backstory, but I thought it was the premise of it was a little short on drama. You know, it was like, Hook, you need me. No, I don't need you. Shut up, Dad. And then some shoving. You know, it was.
He didn't say shut up, Dad.
Huh?
He didn't say shut up, Dad.
Metaphor.
Oh,
Yeah,
other said it.
Jericho kept saying,
Okay.
kept telling Dad to shut up.
Okay.
And then
I thought you were like, Hook was like, shut up, Dad.
And then shoved him.
I hate you too.
That is like, you need me, and then no, I don't need you. You need me, no, I don't need you.
Well,
it was
yeah,
like there was not
you've
enough.
missed the last
It was
few
not
weeks
enough
when
high drama.
They were trying to form a thing, and Jericho was trying to take him into the tree of learning and like be his mentor. And then last week they had a trios match. It didn't go really well. And he's like, one more chance. You need to like let me teach you because you have potential, but you're not living up to it. And he's like, nah.
Yeah, it's like if Aristotle was like, fuck you, Plato. I don't need your philosophy.
So you think that
but I don't,
Hook is like Aristotle?
But I don't think the mentor should go back to the pupil and say, please let me train you.
He's giving him one more chance.
Okay.
Johnny, what did you think?
So I thought it was kind of clunky.
I did too, man.
I definitely don't think it came off how they wanted it to come off. But
well, Hook was not helping.
No. Right. Hook made it worse. But I thought that they created enough drama to keep the interest there for it. You know, but it was kind of clunky.
Explain to me why it didn't work. What is your thought on that? Because I'm here for the people involved. They were happy with how it went. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, I liked
why
how it
I'm
went.
not.
I liked how it went. It was like two dads fighting over kid, and one dad shoved the other dad, and the kid was like, "You're not my real dad," and like that felt like true life, you guys.
I guess one thing was that it just, I mean, Jericho just kind of like Cook's like go, and he's like, all right then, like that was a little weird too. Like he had nothing to say after that. I'm just gonna walk off. Okay. That was just one part of it, but it was one part that bugged me. Like he should have had something else in there, you know?
Yeah. They could have cued some sad walking away music, like in the Hulk.
Anything. He was just like,
I did think something else was going to happen.
Yeah,
before
it felt
over.
unfinished.
Yeah, but they also Hook should have had more to say.
Well, that's Hook's thing. He doesn't really talk a lot because I don't think he's really great at it yet. Because for the longest time, he said nothing. Like, literally nothing.
Yeah.
So now they've been building him a little bit.
Yeah, I think part of what didn't work for me is that, like, I think Hook obviously doesn't excel in, like, dramatic storytelling moments. And so he had to, like, he kind of had to nail this for it to work. You know what I mean? And so it just seemed kind of disheveled, and they seemed like they had a point, but they just couldn't get it across real strong. I don't know. Yeah. And that's cool if they thought it was good. It just came across to me like anticlimactic, you know?
It was anticlimactic.
The way they would normally work one of those bits is Jericho would say, I can put you over. I can take you to a new place. And Hook should be acting like he's going for it.
He already did that though. You already missed that part.
Oh, okay. And then he should say no.
That's what's going
on. Then there's a turning point where he says
this is the turning point.
Well, so why is Chris coming back to beg?
Oh, not begging, but he's giving you another chance because they were up until this week working together.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chris is a man of learning and philosophy. He understands that if he can bring Hook up to speed, then maybe he can control Hook like Emperor Palpatine does to Darth Vader. Or, Yoda and the fucking Skywalkers or whatever,
I don't
Well, that's
think,
what I was thinking. It's like the kung fu master on the mountain. You go to him; he doesn't come to you.
yeah,
Yeah, master of the flying
Well,
guillotine.
you've missed too many weeks of storylines to have that opinion, so move on.
Okay. All right.
Okay, all right. Per Darcy the Mail Girl, we are moving on because this one is her show. Yes.
I was excited about that, and I didn't love how it came off, and I feel bad for them about that. But I hope that they, honestly, this whole Hook thing has not worked as well as I would have hoped. But we'll see.
No.
We'll see what happens at the pay-per-view.
They need a cake in the ring, and someone needs to get the cake. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we already covered it, but Renee talks to Swerve Strickland, and Swerve Strickland is like, I will fucking fight Samoa Joe. That's that. Deonna Purrazzo versus Mariah May again? Like, didn't we see this, I swear to God, last week?
No, we just saw her come out, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
just be like,
Deonna's
I'm gonna fucking take you down. Or
She's
whatever.
done so much talking. I feel like I've already seen her wrestle and lose, but Deonna Purrazzo did win that one. But then Tony and Mariah beat her up after the match, and Thunder Rosa comes down, and it is a ladies' dusty finish.
How do we feel about this?
I liked the David Lynch ending where Thunder Rosa scrawled purple lipstick all over
I did
Tony's
too.
face.
That was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, it was cool because we haven't seen Tony Storm real vulnerable like that for months, really, where in like a non-match skirmish, she looked like someone was really like kind of embarrassing her. So she's going to come back with, 1,000 fiery hells, but I didn't love it. I thought leading up to it, first off, Deonna Purrazzo, who I love, very underwhelming AEW start to her career.
Dude,
Am I
seriously,
wrong?
Yeah.
we were talking about that. It's like, I know she has a lot of people that love her, and you're one of them, but not being super familiar with her previous work, she has not been catching my interest. I'll tell you that.
There wasn't a lot of wrestling. There wasn't as much wrestling as you normally see from the women. It was more the storyline.
There's a lot of storyline.
They're
Yeah.
trying to build.
Yeah, and squash
Not a build.
matchy.
Yeah.
Well, so squash matchy that we'll move on to that Bang Bang Gang interview backstage. Renee was dressed so fly. Like, she had the red lining on a black leather jacket. She looked so good. But ultimately, they challenged the Acclaim to a trios title unification match. And, later, the Acclaimed accepts. Which is exciting because maybe we're going to end some belt inflation with some unification, yeah?
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if they
Okay.
could combine the belts, that would be cool. Because man, they need less belts.
There's a lot of belts, man. Especially they're bringing in ones from other fucking companies
I
now.
know. It's like,
fuck,
look, I got a
everybody has
shiny new
belts.
thing.
Yeah, dude,
They'll
I'm a
just walk
wrestling
out
fan.
with 4 belts.
Oh, they have fucking Eddie Kingston, I think, had a bunch of them at one time.
Yeah,
Like, a bunch
3.
of people have had a bunch of them.
Yeah, and as a wrestling fan, it's hard to keep track of all these belts where I'm like, that one is from, that's the one from Mexico. That's the one from Japan. Which is the one from this promotion? ROH, is that one here? So we need fewer belts. But the next match was one that defied all gravity, logic, and sense. Orange Cassidy defeating Shane Taylor. Tell me how on earth that could fucking happen. For real.
I'll be happy to. It's because Orange Cassidy is fucking phenomenal and can take down anyone.
Shane
Yeah.
Taylor is a man who's got gravity, and Orange Cassidy is a man with his
Has
hands in his
skills.
pockets.
Has magic, has fucking moves,
Well,
has
I mean-
has strength that's like sneaky, so good.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
he
the-
fucking
the
can do anything.
Keyword is sneaky. The kayfabe on Orange Cassidy is that he's always sneakier than the other guy, right?
No.
Well, every time I've seen the match, it's like he does something incredibly sneaky to fool the other guy, and then he has leverage over the guy, and then he.
What are you
When's the
talking
match?
about?
Oh, yes.
No.
No, this is a great question. Joe Bob, do you think that Orange Cassidy is a face or a heel? It's a subjective question.
What?
Subjective question.
I always thought he was a face.
Of course. How
Okay,
could
just
anyone even
checking.
think he's a heel?
Just checking.
That's crazy talk, woman.
I thought he was a heel because he's so boring and lame.
Oh no!
Wow, you're a heel for thinking that.
We all knew I'm the heel, Darcy. Come on.
I guess that's true. If you're a heel, then the face would seem like a heel. You know what I mean?
Proving the subjectivity of life, really.
Word.
Yeah. It's like the difference between ethics and morals. Anyway, Orange Cassidy won the match, and then Moriarty comes and chokes Cassidy, and then Ogogo drops him with a body shot, and then Matt Sydal comes out, and another dusty finish.
Yeah.
This is when Trent was being a dick.
Trent is kind of always a dick. He's the new Christian.
Let's not go that far.
I know. I'm not sure, but it's kind of
Trent is a
not
dick.
that unfair. It's too new to know.
I thought.
Yeah.
I actually thought the match was pretty good.
Well, it's an Orange Cassidy match, of course.
Yeah.
It was a very athletic match, yeah.
Yeah, you think the size difference would have caused problems, but they both like really worked pretty well together. So.
Yeah. Shane did his best not to completely crush Orange Cassidy and let the other man win. I did see it happen.
He sold well.
All right, but what about this next match? I'm going to guess Darcy's favorite match, Claudio versus Will Osprey. And why would it be your favorite match? Because, of course, Will Osprey won.
Osprey!
Osprey!
Fuck
It was
yeah.
a great match, though. Like,
It was-
really.
Of course it was a great match, because as much as I fucking hate Claudio, it's not like he's bad. So, like, put him with Osprey, who's fucking phenomenal. It's going to be a great match.
Yeah, unlike the UN, Claudio can wrestle. Whether you like what he's doing or not, he can wrestle. Will Osprey always can wrestle. So it was kind of one of my favorite matches of the night.
For fucking sure.
Oh,
man.
this was, in my opinion, this was by far the best match of the night.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, there's nothing even close.
I agree too, yeah.
All right, unanimous, and fuck the ghost. So, but then after that, the Callis family comes to the ring and beats down Claudio until Moxley comes in to save his bald friend, who should lean into a Lex Luthor gimmick. Ultimately, like, they all leave, and Swerve comes in, says some stuff to Joe because he doesn't know how to send an email, and then Joe comes down, and they have, like, a brawl that's not a match, and then, you know, that was it.
Yeah, I'm ready for Swerve and Joe to fight.
Yeah.
I've had enough build. I'm ready.
Is that on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah, they're running the risk of like rubbing me raw with the foreplay and not getting to the act.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to happen this time. If it doesn't, we're all just going to be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Swerve Strickland loses, we riot.
Yeah.
Word.
I mean, it's Swerve's house.
Always has been.
Yeah. So that was the show. Should we do ratings?
What's right?
What do y'all want to rate with?
Traps, steel chairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody tweeted at us. They're like, steel chairs are always a trap. And just a gif of somebody getting destroyed in a steel chair.
Aw, I love when viewers give us suggestions. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Trap steel chairs. Joe Bob, as our guest, how many trap steel chairs would you rate it?
Out of 5.
For the whole show?
Yes.
Out of how many stars?
It's not stars. It's trap steel chairs.
Out of how many trap steel chairs?
5.
Out of 5?
Yes.
2.5.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
No, I
Actually,
loved,
2.5.
I loved the final match, and I loved a couple of other things about it, but it was a very talky and not very good talk
Wow.
episode.
Joe Bob, you are not invited back.
Okay.
He invited himself, Darcy.
2.5?
I'm not accepting your
2.5
self-invitation.
That would be average, right? That would be right in the middle.
No, I mean, right in the middle is an F. 50% on a paper is fail.
Word.
Well, you didn't explain to me the system then.
You know how stars/steel chairs work, sir. You fucking do it on your show.
I mean, 2.5 to me would be an AEW average episode.
And you know what, Darcy, to be fair, there were no breasts, so we know he can't give it a 5.
That's true.
No, it actually, the rule is it starts with a deficit, but it can be so amazing that they earn back that star. So they could have given it a 5. It was super, super awesome. But apparently it's 2.5.
Well,
so whatever.
if you're using it like a college term paper or something, if that's what you're saying, then I would give it a what's a 75? What if I gave it a 75? What would that
Give
be?
it what you feel.
That'll be
Oh my God, now we're all doing math in
That'll
our
be a
heads.
3.5.
Oh my God,
Would
Right
that
around
be
it's 2.5. Go away.
3.5.
Darcy, what do you rate this one?
I'm gonna have to give it 3 3/4, which for me is fucking low. I hate giving it anything less than 4, and usually don't feel that way. But there was a not so strong show last week, and I really thought they were gonna bring it home this week because they're getting ready for the pay-per-view, and I don't think they did that. I don't think they got us hyped for the pay-per-view.
Maybe they're withholding. Maybe they need us to
But
want more.
why? No.
I don't know.
Like
Johnny
so we'll watch
Shania
Collision?
Taylor.
You know, I tend to agree. I'm gonna go with 3.5 trap steel chairs, and I agree. I thought this episode was kind of weak, as like the Dynamite before the pay-per-view.
Which is usually phenomenal.
Yeah, it was underwhelming to me.
I'm going to give it 1 steel chair for the learning tree, 1 steel chair for people shit-talking each other, and I'm going to leave it there because I have to be meaner than Joe Bob.
Wow, this is like one of the lowest rated episodes ever. Wow.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they can't all be the best, just like a workout. You can't have the best workout every time. Sometimes they got to be less than average.
What did the ghost think?
Ghost gave it a 3. Yeah, and didn't even have any witty retort for it. It was just like, yeah, kind of boring.
The ghost doesn't have much retort. Like, I need to know more about the ghost. Are they wearing like tiny shoes, hoop skirts? Why are they so mad?
Well, the ghost is a diehard AEW fan, raggedy bitch from day one. But yeah, this one just wasn't shaking the sugar tree.
I mean, fair.
You are no Plato, sir. So
You need to get to the learning tree.
Awards.
All right, let's start with the John Holmes Dick of the Week award. I'm gonna straight up say it. It goes to Trent. Fuck you, Trent. You fucking cock.
Damn. Trent is a dick.
Joe Bob, do you have a Dick of the Week?
Who was the guy that kept the 2 rescuers from getting to the ring in that last brawl?
Oh shit.
You're asking us to remember stuff?
Rescuers.
Darcy, you
know,
need to make
talking?
Joe Bob smoke more weed. Then he'll be on our level.
I know. What are you talking? Let's say Trent. It was Trent.
Okay.
It was Trent.
It was 2 votes for Trent.
Definitely Trent.
I'm giving it to the whole Don Callis family. I feel like they work so hard to be dicks every week, and
They do.
if I didn't acknowledge how hard they work to be dicks, like I would be robbing them of that accomplishment.
That's fair.
That's fair. Very fair.
That's fair.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trent as well.
Woo!
Just for general like fuckery,
The court hears for general fuckery.
general
Trent.
fuckery.
I will accept that for sure. And let's go to a more positive note with the Dewey Riley Hero of the Week. Who y'all got?
Spray. Spray.
Really?
Spray.
All right. I'll
He
take that.
entertains me.
And you know what? That was heroic tonight because we needed it.
Yes.
Yeah, not a traditional hero, but I thought it was good to see Moxley back. I think it added some star power to the beginning of the show, and it was cool that he had his he had his new belt that he's bringing to a place that has 7,000 belts. But I thought he had a really good promo, and he had
Johnny, your audio is going nuts.
Johnny, you are being attacked by robots from space.
Can you hear me now? What's happening?
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, that's so weird. I wonder what I just turned my microphone ever so slightly.
Yeah, you
so
were being
weird.
censored by the man, but it's all right. You were just about done with your thought.
Yeah, I said Moxley. I'm going
Yeah,
with
you
Moxley.
did.
Moxley, he had a great speech too. I'll give him that shit. He
All
got
right.
me pumped up for the AEW.
Yeah. What's our next one?
I agree with Johnny about Moxley. That was it made me feel good about it. It connected to some of the great AEW shows.
Mm.
It did, I agree.
I'm going Pat because he came out with a fucking hammer to save Daniel Garcia. So
Oh,
good for him.
Okay.
everybody should bring a hammer.
Yes.
That
I remember that
sexy-
the Young Bucks were like,
that sexy
"That was a
Pat."
hammer." Yes. All right. So we have the Freddie versus Jason match or showdown of the week. I think,
Osprey.
I think we've
Osprey.
established it's Osprey.
But honorary mention for dad punching and
Wow.
book rebellion. You guys, I love it when the family gets involved. It feels like a soap opera. I want to bring your mom here and beat you up in front of her. I love that shit.
I did love the shove, but that was pretty much the only thing to love in that segment, honestly. But I'm glad you liked it. Good for you.
Fair.
And now we have the Ric Flair fashion icon of the week.
Renee Paquette, all black suit, red lining. Girl, you look hot.
For me, it was Deanna. Like, she wasn't super exciting, but her outfit was fucking giving. She looked awesome. So
She was working it.
she was definitely, but she doesn't need to be there.
Johnny, best dressed?
I tend to always want to go with Tony Storm, but I do agree that I thought Deonna Purrazzo looked great.
Joe Bob, you have a pick for best dressed?
You know what? I get all the women mixed up because I haven't watched the women that much. But who's the British one?
Yes, be more specific.
Who's the British
Do you
one?
mean
She's a-
Mariah May?
Yeah, Mariah May. Mariah May.
Well, do you realize she's just copying Tony Storm's outfit? Like, that's an old Tony Storm outfit. She's being a copycat
Really?
of her.
Well, I thought she wore it well.
Oh, good for you.
Okay.
I need a People magazine who wore it better for all of those outfits.
I do have to ask, though, the viewers have asked, do you like Tony Storm more than you used to? Because you used to be very anti her segments.
Well, I haven't. I always thought.
Just say yes, she's great.
It's not like you ever try to influence me. I never bought into the whole silent movie promotion, so it didn't.
Can I change Dick of the Week?
It didn't ever move me.
No,
So
Anyway, did everybody get their fashion icon? They did. We did it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We did an episode, y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, we fucking did do an
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
but first we have to talk about what we're promoting this week. And Darcy, aren't you and I supposed to do some like hot chick charity fundraiser in Hollywood tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. It's the Halfway to Halloween something fundraising event.
Fuck yes. That was the
All I
best
know is
one
I was
ever.
invited to a hot chick costume party, so we are
It's to like
doing.
support the troops. I don't know exactly what charity, but you know what? It's Halloween and it's charity, so I'm in.
Yeah, any excuse for Halloween.
So, Joe Bob, what are you promoting? Because we're also promoting the same shit.
well, I'll be at that party too, but
You're not a hot chick.
huh? Well,
He
no,
can
I'm not
be-
a hot
He
chick.
can be a hot
I'll
chick
be at
if
the
he
party.
wants.
What can
I
I
mean,
promote?
true. What are you wearing?
Our next last drive-in show will be a week from Friday, and it's our annual celebration of Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah, witches.
The witches, when when half of the people are witches and the other half are trying to kill the witches, and the witches are flying to Brocken to have sex with Satan on the witches' dance floor.
You know
I
how
hear
to sell
Satan
it.
really
And-
gives the D.
And we celebrate it every year on our show because we're trying to bring Walpurgisnacht to the U.S. So far, we're failing.
I know that we are. I feel like more people have heard about it than ever.
Some of the people in our among our fans are this year going to Germany to
Dude,
celebrate
why have we not done that
Walpurgisnacht.
yet?
They're like actually going up to the mountain where they have this
I am
big celebration.
mad at us for not doing that yet.
We should have a show from the
Duh,
the
yes.
Brocken.
Yes,
Yeah.
we should.
Darcy, may I remind you, perhaps it is not good to go to where they burn the witches. You know you are very pretty with the
I
breasts.
ain't scared. I've got Satan's D on my side.
That's what I'm worried about.
We got this. To the Brocking.
Woo!
To the Brocken. Yeah.
Well,
What
shit,
you guys got going on?
Following that is tough. Johnny, what are you doing?
Definitely not doing any of that.
What was in Norfolk, Nebraska?
I performed at the Norfolk. It's Norfolk, by the way.
Norfolk.
Which it's spelled. There's no R in it other than the Nor. I had a whole thing with the people there about it, but it seems weird, but whatever. So I was performing at this little place called the Civic Event Center. Did 4 shows, all sold out. They were really fun shows. The people were very nice, but man, there is fuck all to do in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Congrats on selling out, though. That's
very,
cool.
very boring. But I will be in the DC area, not this weekend, but the following weekend. 5 shows at the Arlington Draft House in Arlington, Virginia. So come out, buy tickets now because they're selling fast.
Ooh, exciting. Well,
Cool.
I am Mistress Harley, world-famous dominatrix, author of The Scam Book for Guys Who Love to Lose. It's an instant scam. I promise it is. Buy it on Amazon. You can find me on the internet. I'm kind of famous. But we are the Awesome Podcast, and this is where we say Namaste EW.
Namaste.
Namaste, EW.